tonight. Our top story, Chatham Area Transit and one of its bus operators now facing legal action following a passenger's death last year.
The family's attorney argues CAT response policies for medical emergencies failed and may have contributed to the man's death. WSCV's Sarah Smith is joining us now with what the lawsuit alleges.
Well, right now, operators are required to call CAT dispatch first when there's an emergency on their bus or any other vehicle. Dispatch then determines how severe the situation is and what the response should be. In this case, the family believes it took far too long for help to arrive because of this policy. Here you see 69-year-old James Ankrum Sr. struggling to get seated on Chatham Area Transit Authority's paratransit vehicle at around 5:55 on the morning of April 11th, 2024. He was scheduled for dialysis that morning. Court documents note that the driver noticed Ankrum was not himself.
So you need to go out today?
Footage from the bus shows Mr. Ankrum slide to the floor. Rather than calling 911, the driver follows CAT's policy and contacts CAT dispatch to report the emergency.
Okay, I'm here to pick Mr. James up, but he's on the ground on the bus.
But according to court documents, CAT dispatch classified his condition as non-emergent.
These policies and procedures that they have in place, specifically with regards to calling dispatch first when there's a medical emergency, could potentially put, and did in this case, Mr. Ankrum at a serious risk of dying.
Attorney Alex Mayfield is representing Mr. Ankrum's wife, Ava. He compared this policy and procedure to playing a game of telephone and says the severity of the situation was lost in translation in this first call.
She calls back about 8 minutes later and says, "We don't have a pulse."
After the second call, CAT dispatch upgraded the situation to emergent.
I have a cardiologist that has looked at this file, and he gave that opinion. He said every single second counts.
EMS arrived on scene 14 minutes after Ankrum Sr. collapsed. He died at Memorial Health 2 days later. The cause, anoxic brain injury after cardiac arrest. When asked for comment, a CAT spokesperson replied, quote, "CAT staff is unable to comment on pending litigation."
Under Georgia law, CAT is a common carrier, and under the law, they have to provide extraordinary diligence to keep their riders safe, and they failed to do that in this scenario.
Now, I also just got off the phone with Mr. Ankrum's wife, Ava. She told me she was inside their home as all of this was happening, and she says the driver never came to her door to tell her what was going on. The wife feels like she could have intervened with CPR or even called 911 herself. The family is suing CAT and the driver for negligence, reckless conduct, and damages. They're also demanding a jury trial. Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Sarah, thank you.